Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to Apply. All right, so today I have Silvia Cerolini on the line, and she is CEO over at Eyes on the Future. Silvia, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam.
So, for everybody listening, this is part of our Milking Global Conference coverage series where we bring you the best of individuals that went to, that participated in, speakers, VIPs, all of the above, to the Milking Global Conference in Beverly Hills. That's one of my favorite events of the year. I do not miss that. And Sylvia, you were in attendance, right? Was this your first time there, or have you been before? Like, give me a little bit of a backstory, how you got connected to Milking.
I've been before, and it's definitely also one of my best events of the year. I'm connected through the Faster Cure Institute at the Milken. I'm one of the eight leaders, non-for-profit leaders selected for a accelerated program at Faster Cures. And as part of that leadership program, we are invited to the conference. So it's great. It's great, really a great experience.
Now you're part of Faster Cures. I understand that program, but in general, what keeps you coming back? Why do you think this conference is so special?
I think it's really a mix of the content, which is absolutely top notch, but really what makes a difference is the attendees. And I think the breadth of topics is also spanning from really any kind of geopolitical topics. Health, of course, is big, finance. So it's really that kind of breadth that really brings you a diverse group of people attending and speaking.
Mm. Now, I have my method. I like to, when I go there, speaking of the content, I like to try and, see things that I won't normally see. So I'm in media, obviously. So I'll send some of that information, some of those panels, but I always want to go see like what's next, like what else is happening. Do you keep it in your niche in healthcare or do you explore a little? I'm curious on because there's too much to see for sure. Like
Yeah,
you can't see
I
it
got
all.
the
What's your process?
I got the same advice the first time I went. It's like, okay, 80% should be your space because it's where you're going to make the best connections, but really invest in kind of that 20% to be kind of blown away. So yeah, over the
Mm.
years I've attended some very interesting, very different talks from kind of all over, from how to live longer to sleep to sort of
No, it is. No, it's sleep longevity. I'm laughing because yesterday I just hosted a panel over at Stark Health and we were talking about like he mentioned sleep and this and that and I had just taken a red eye and I was like, "Oh, he started talking about sleep and I started to get a little like sleepy-eyed and I'm That's why I'm
yeah.
laughing. I think that's great. And then it's interesting to see like how that plays into longevity and how like the whole system works. Sorry, I went off on a tangent, but I was like, no, sleep is important.
Agree,
Go
agree.
ahead, continue.
Agree, but yeah, I agree. There's some that are, I think it talks about sport, the sport
Yeah.
industry. I mean, it's can really, the variety is huge. Mm.
I agree. Let's switch it up a bit here, Sylvia. I want to get into what you're doing over at Eyes on the Future. So maybe just start by talking about the organization and what you do.
I founded Eyes on the Futures a few years ago in response of the diagnosis of my eldest daughter, Vicky, with an untreatable rare eye disease. Unfortunately, we were told a few years ago that Vicky would be blind by her late teens, early
Mm,
20s. So she's slowly losing her sight. And in response to that, me and my family decided we just want to do everything we can to help her see the world for longer. And that's how Eyes on the Future was born.
mm. What's your vision for the organization? How are you helping people? Like, what's the vision?
Yeah, so we're bringing together the community. First and foremost, we're bringing together the community of patients affected by this rare disease, which most of the time, having a rare disease is really isolating because you don't have a lot of people around you that are similar to
Hmm.
you. So really, we provide support and connection. So we now have families from all over the world, like all over 20 countries, which is amazing. More than that, we really want to find a cure and a treatment for our kids and for our community. And we started where a lot of the patient advocacy organizations start. So we started fundraising a little bit. We started to fund academic research. We started to bring people together, which are all great things. But over the years, we realized that this is not enough. It's not enough
Mm,
because the traditional commercial model doesn't really work in rare diseases. So at the point of where we got very close to a kind of scientific and breakthrough, we know what we are supposed to do from a scientific standpoint. There's just not enough investment to actually go and start the clinical trials and develop this therapy, potential therapy into something accessible for our community. So we kind of decided we had to do it ourselves, and we roll up our
mm,
sleeves, and we evolved from the traditional patient organization to having a very active role. In fact, now we are co-developing the gene therapy for our disease together with a biotech called Opus Genetics. And this is a breakthrough
hmm
model for how patients can actually lead development of new therapies.
mm. I want you to go further into that because I know one of the things you're known for and your organization is known for is really talking about patients becoming partners or, and
Yeah.
patients leading the drive into these new therapies. Like, where did you get kind of come up with that framework and like what has that meant for you?
Well, it's interesting because actually, me running Eyes on the Future is my night job, as I call it. I have a day job and I work in business for many years. And then a few years ago, I actually moved and I'm now in a pharma company, in a kind of commercial role in a
Mm,
pharma company, a large pharma company. And that is kind of giving me the insight on kind of how industry generally is also thinking about patients, right? And there are huge
mhm,
opportunities really to evolve from seeing patients as just participant to a clinical trial or patients that are experts in their disease areas. And
mhm,
absolutely we are. But in my own experience as a patient advocate, I had so many doors shut in front of me of people telling
mm,
me like, oh, we'll come back when we'll come back to you when we have a treatment. And I'm like, no, I
mm.
want to push it. I want to develop the treatment with you. And
Wow. I want to stop you there for a minute. Did
yeah.
that surprise you? Were they like surprised? I mean, not did that surprise you. Were they surprised?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think I
They
mean,
don't
it's,
normally get that response, right? They're probably like, who is this woman? Who's
and
Sylvia?
this
What is
happens
she
all the
like?
time. This happens all the time. I mean, industry is just scratching the surface. And I say
Yeah.
with the best intent, industry is just scratching the surface on the potential of actually true partnership with patients.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
really removing barriers, really catalyzing progress, funding research. But like in the case, what we're showing is effectively, co-developing and being an equal partner at the table, not just hey, what do you think of this protocol? Give us some ideas. And I think the industry is coming. I mean, for what I can see from my own experience, I think this is now being talked, and it's great to be able to have the opportunity to show a real case with our work in at Eyes on the Future, a real case where we are taking charge and the impact that this makes.
Mm. So, how many years has the organization been in existence now, roughly?
We kind of started in 2016, so it's a few years, but really we got serious over the last, 4 or 5 years.
Mm.
Yeah,
What has the
relatively.
partnership with the Milken organization meant to you, and like, how is it helping to facilitate like moving this initiative forward?
Yeah, it's been a massive capacity creator for us and connection creator for us. Because also
Mm.
I'm the only one that is actually based outside the US. So I'm based in the UK. So my organization is a registered or non-for-profit in England. So it's also for me to have the experience of the US way of doing non-for-profit, which is probably more advanced. Without the probably, it's more advanced than over in Europe, having those connections, having those examples, and really, really critical for me to figure out what's the right model that works for me. Because there's no blueprint here, right? Everybody's trying to push this forward. Many patients are doing what I'm doing, and there are many families that are trying to fight.
Hmm.
There is no blueprint for us, so we're all trying to do this and push this a little bit forward. So having other examples, connecting with people that are going through the same challenges has been really, really helpful.
Amazing. Well, so Sylvia, we're in September for everybody listening. We're in September of 2025. We're headed into, before we know it, we're going to blink and it's 2026. What are your plans for the rest of the year?
Our first clinical trial. That's my number one
Ooh,
dream for the last,
congratulations. Go ahead. Go ahead.
we still have a little bit to go, but that's the partnership that we actually signed
Mm,
it over the summer, so it's also very new and fresh. But our goal is to get into the very first clinical trial for our condition next year. So we are really busy working through with our partner company Opus on any aspect from regulatory strategy to clinical protocol and all plans and all of it. So yeah, hopefully 2026 is going to bring us the trial that we have been dreaming of for many years.
amazing. Silvia, if somebody's listening or watching this and they want to follow up and they want to learn more about eyes in the future, how can they follow the organization and what do you need? Like, what kind of support do you need? Like, we have a great audience. How do people connect?
We are on social media. We're on LinkedIn. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook at Eyes on the Future. And we are at eyesonthefuture.org.uk. We need lots of help. We need people to believe in our dream. We need supporters. We need funders. We need partners. So if you think you can help, and if you like the idea of patients developing treatments for the community, go and reach out and how we can really reinvent the model here for the benefit of not just my community, but also the broad, rare disease community. Please get
Hmm.
in touch.
Amazing. For everybody listening, just so you know, we'll put, of course, some of that contact information into the show notes. So you can just click on it and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day, we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way in your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button. And Silvia, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you.